Bit of a melee in the box ensued. It was his final touch that evaded Pavel Bereshkin as the ball went through his legs and into the back of the net. That is the difference maker at the resumption of the final of the 2019 future champions Gauteng. Alongside me, I'm joined by Motlogana and Gininda. The pitch side you mentioned. Several key personnel that both coaches could look forward to now in terms of the state of the game and the game plan moving forward for Pirates and Moscow. Two different missions that they have to accomplish, but at the end, the same end goal.
You're right. Fair enough. Orlando Pirates at this stage, they need to control the tempo of the game. Control the tempo of the game the best way that you can. Don't give Spartak Moscow the room to dominate like they did. Disallow them the touches that they want. Disallow them the movements that they want. How do you do that? Intercept all the ball most of the time. Utilize the width very well, like they are doing right now. They're trying to bring Totete back into what it does best, coming from the winger, cutting in, putting in those crosses. Now, you've got number 12, Spamandla. He's also going to have to do a lot of work as far as Spartak Moscow is concerned. Defense-wise.
You also identified Beki Trele in the midfield as someone potentially who may face the chop as the game continues. Maybe Coach Simon Marinho looking to bring on someone like Cian Moremi. Or even Hakeem Marks.
Nelson Ralenkwane needs to be potent as well. Kabelo Mufukeng. Tobane Kumete has been in the thick of things, alongside Azola Tobane.
I think for me it's going to be extremely important for Pirates to be switched on, particularly in set pieces. Set piece for Spartak Moscow. This is going to be a crucial moment in this final. From a dead ball position, not from that kind of delivery. Barely beat the first man, the shortest man at that, Azola Kyobeni. Was offside there on Aslan Mutelev. Threatened in the first half, but I think Vlad Shitov, that's the one man they want to get more and more involved in the game.
They're keeping him in the bay, forcing him to go deep. Balls are not getting to him.
And apologies for the break in transmission. Technicians are feverishly working on it. It's still 1-0 to Orlando Pirates in the 2019 future champions Gauteng final. Vitumele Radio Pane on the 17 international, sprawled on the ground there. So he gets medical assistance. This is why.
A collusion there. Body weight. Could say it's 50-50, could say there's an element of aggression from Lanchas and Goff. The power there and the elbow. But he's a big man, he knows he's playing the final. To get up and fight it. He's a soldier. He's a sea rover. He's a barapar. A barapar al pelimo. Jog it off, boy.
Yeah, that's been your mantra the whole tournament. Person could be seriously injured, just jog it off. Wow, they make them as tough as they come in Swaziland. Stepan Milnikov holding off Azola Chebeni's advances. Clipped in the ball as well, and it hits the back of the net. From those crosses I mentioned, that height advantage. And it's Rabinov who says, from Russia with love, we are equal. We are starting all over again. This time though at 1-1.
4 minutes into the game. 4 minutes into the game. Rabadanov, unmarked. He wanted the ball, he wanted the goal. We saw his potential in the first half. Good ball played, but the marking. 2-on-1. Kumete was there. Look at the eyesight. Pinpointing him, and the only thing he did was cushion it with the top of his head, and the Blake could not get to that one. Game on, player.
Game on indeed. Confirmation of the score in the 35th minute. 5 minutes at the resumption of the second half. It is the Russians who strike quickly and strike fearsomely. I think you're doing them a bit of a service there. What a ball to eliminate 2 players, and that run in between the 2 centre backs was sublime. The touch was flicking it on far post. Blake Fraser, a beaten man, picking out the ball out of his net.
Staying on his line, Blake Fraser, maybe if it was a little bit 2-step forward, could have been a different story. Would have intercepted the bounce rather.
So Teti, will he keep the ball in? The far-born player uses his head. Will he keep his head in, crossing the ball? Well, he smashes it against Vadim Kromin, the skipper for Spartak Moscow, who I'm sure would have had plenty of words to say to his teammates, urging them on to get a reaction, which they adequately responded to so quickly, so efficiently.
An early goal in the second half. Good one to bring the team back. Now, the game is open. Game plan changes. Pirates couldn't keep the ball. Now they need to go at Spartak Moscow, try and get a second goal.
2 players that have been on corner duty since the start of the game. Lance Makambi, the deadly left foot. The ball bounces, doesn't beat the first man from 1-11 to another. As Stepan Melnikov was on defensive duty. An awkward looking landing between those 2 players there. Vlad Shitov.
Talk about a person who injures himself. Why would you jump for a ball and then give your back?
Yeah, there could be a nasty one there. The player, the people's team, as they're fondly called in their native Russia. Stopped there by Peggy Klele. Player born out of the East Rand as the ball is dug out. It was from a cross that the Russians hit back. Now Slevchikov, he thinks about it. Shot wide of Blake Fraser's left upright. Seemed to have landed awkwardly, Fraser, for a second there. See, yeah, he's wincing.
Yeah. Problem is, if you don't cut in, you don't close them down early, you don't close them down before they take shots at goal, they'll test the keeper. They'll get a second ball. They're very aggressive and always poaching players.
Cezana. Radio Pan's shot as well, blocked. It's a very good ball to find them. Peki Kele doing what he does best, cleaning after his attackers, stopping any attacks from getting beyond the first guard. Here's Radio Pani onside. The answer is no. Far too eager. Simon Maringa barking order still. He must be a disappointed man at that easily now. Early they conceded the equalizer there, Mo.
Yeah, they could have done better defense-wise. Ball watching, there was 2-on-1. But Rabadanov wanted it more than the 2 defenders that couldn't contain him.
Kumete dispossesses Gloidman, but Gloidman says, you ain't going nowhere, buddy. The story ends right here. Illegally so, though.
Gloidman, strong structure. Up against Kumete. Yes, Kumete had won the ball, poked it forward, tried to make that pace on Gloidman, but Gloidman put his hand just to obstruct him. Now, can Oрландо Пайретс pull one back here? Something from the training grounds, maybe? There's an angle there. Look at the first pole exposed.
So Teti would like to tell you so. He goes to center. And it's a Russian head that gets on it. The first, Lance Makambi, can he get the seconds? It's the Russians that navigate themselves out of that potentially tricky situation. Azola Chobeni there in shot. It's been a hard-working midfield dynamo for Simon Maringe. Really trusts Azola Chobeni. The game that they did not start him, they absolutely struggled more in that encounter. In the game, though, that they didn't really have to win anyway. It was against the opponents on the day back in match day 2 against Highlands Park.
Oh, that's a straight foul. The ref spoiling the game. Come on, man.
It's a pressure situation. Radiopani. This passer intercepted by Semyov. Movement forward for Muteliev. But bounces away from there's a teammate I've noticed every time there's a consecutive games on the pitch, the bounce becomes more uneven, more unpredictable. The pitch almost hardens as the day goes on.
Yep, it does. Too many games played on it. No rest, not a water pitch in between the sessions.
You played on AstroTurf quite a bit. What does watering the pitch do for it? For playing conditions, or flew in there. Absolutely did not hold back at all at that tackle.
Injured himself in the midst of it.
Yeah. Commitment. Yeah.
Near the fence, streaming outside.
How are you injured, he says. Quick translation for non-Zulu speaking viewers. Atinjan.
That's Maradlujan. That means he must go on the floor. Now, a good first touch. The ball was going out, but the late tackle with the left foot, not an intended one, but as he was sliding through, that's when he caught the foot of Kozadov.
Slowly making his way towards the technical area where the fourth official is closest to, so he can come back on the pitch. I've seen a lot of throw-ins that have gone awry in this tournament. That was not one of them. Something that's been really disappointing. I think also you can throw in the set pieces, not consistently good enough. Radiopane's run is good. He leaves the ball behind him, but manages to retain possession. Soteti with the shot come cross. Kumete was lurking for the seconds. Asked the questions, why did you not put it closer to me? I made the run for you, sir.
Played behind the defense line.
Big diagonal switch to this near side in search of Lucas Nedabab. It's Trele. Out wide is Katlo Soteti. His movement found. Is he onside? Nope. No wonder telltale sign. All the players sort of stood still and looked at the official. This near side to us, and but always a dead giveaway as to whether the player's onside or not.
And it is still there with Soteti. Now,
they got the whole family. There was just 2 of them yesterday.
Get the best seat also.
It's the lady under the umbrella is the glasses. Is the mom of the Pirates goalkeeper, Blake Frazen. In fact, his father's from America.
I see the cool time is making good sense. It's the only thing that keeps you cool in this type of weather.
Fortunately, we never got any. I'm sure Grant Bissett, wherever he is enjoying a cool time.
He's probably drinking his school.
He says he doesn't do energy drinks. He's an Energizer Bunny himself now. The Energizer Bunny for Pirates is Soteti, who gives it to Radio Bunny. Pirates enough opportunity for a second. All blocked off the line. A shot leaving the right foot of Cesar. As the Russians look to turn defense into attack through Vladislav Shitov, who's outnumbered and all defended brilliant. Last man in defense. did extremely well there. Also, Pirates' senior team open their EPSA Premiership campaign, or reopen again after the international break against Mamelodi Sundowns at Oрландо Stadium. Radio Pane came with that blindside run. 17th time is found offside. Of course, the last game they played was in the CAF Champions League. They lost to Horoya.
The goal-scoring opportunity. Come on, Sodeti. Takes them on. We knew that he could tuck in. Passes his teammates very well. Cut back in. But now Tobane. No. Could have done better. Take it high. Not had it low. He already closed you down. Keepers anticipating that you are going to go down.
I think there was a great block there from Torstopilov, who was on the line. Just behind him as well was a teammate just at that bit of a protection.
2-on-1.
Mentioned earlier in terms of the Russian senior side, I'll tell you a bit more about how their season has unfolded in the Russian Premier League. 8 points clear of Zenit St. Petersburg, 20 games into the season. As we await this corner. Ball has a lot of fizz on it, and well attacked by the taller Tortuliev stop. I mentioned how good he is in the air. Indicates yeah, that one indicated with his eyes that perhaps he was infringed, or not quite sure what the signal was. As the Russians prepare a sub in the meantime away from our cameras, Daniel Grigirov is about to come on.
Now, ball position seems to be favoring Oрландо Пайретс this time around. It's 53 on 47. They've spent a couple of minutes in the opponent's half. Attempted a goal, 7 on 7 shots were there. Now, you've got 4 from Spartak Moscow and 2 from Oрландо Пайретс. They need to do more.
About 13 minutes remaining in this encounter. Game in a bit of a lull, more in the last couple of minutes. No team been able to get a stronghold in the game, dictate terms. I think the nerves perhaps as well at the back of the mind. No one wants to lose a final, getting so close as that sub is about to happen. Mutierlev off, Grigorev on, midfielder for midfielder for coach Bashkevich. Took his time there. Young Mutaliev really ambled across. No hesitancy whatsoever. Wasn't hurried by the officials at that. Ball is central, allowed to bounce, and Boreshkin gratefully clutches it and releases it. Shit off with the movement. It's been well and truly martial law and a collision between Shitov and the official on that far side. Shitov looked at the official, said, "What are you doing, man?" Official just put up his flag and he said, "I'm doing my work." What do you mean?
Look, he was pushed by the player, by the centre back. Now he takes out the assistant ref as well, so he's got every right. Buikanyo. Why are you pushing on the kids?
We'll take it quickly. Fist in into the head of Siamov. Exactly 10 minutes now of this final. A reminder, should it end a 1-1 at a full time and past additional time, we go straight to penalties. Pirates facing a second consecutive penalty shootout in the space of 24 hours.
I must give credit to Spartak Moscow fitness conditioner. They're acclimatized, fitness is still there. No element of exhaustion has been identified from them. They're still pushing.
Well, they've been here before, so they should have a good dossier, a good idea, good intel as to what sort of conditions and what sort of training they need to do under these particular conditions. Low, saved by a break Fraser from that attempted cross-come shot. Oh, yeah, he's a character as a young Blake Fraser. Celebrates every little triumph and victory as if he's won a World Cup, I tell you. Should have seen him yesterday saying to the Club Brugge players, it's my house, it's my house.
He took ownership of it. Penalties belonged to him. His intimidation worked to his advantage.
We're going to penalties again, Mo. Are you getting that a feeling in your very chiseled tummy?
That's if Oрландо Пайретс doesn't concede maybe 3 or 2 set pieces in the dangerous area. This is Spartak Moscow we're talking about.
Starting with this one, Mo. It's a good one. Becky Klele gets his head to it. Blake Fraser down for the count. How's Miss Fraser feeling? There's a quick look at the physiotherapist and or the medic, and he says, why are you taking your time? This is how he got injured.
The collision came from his teammate.
In the meantime, the two teams have taken opportunity to have a quick water break. Action has been thick and fast here in Soweto. It was Oрландо Пайретс that scored first as Blake Fraser's mom urges the man and urges the son back onto his feet and in the heat of the battle. Russians hitting back in the second half and ensuring that they level matters and they keep themselves in the final. This was the first. Gumete with the steal.
Gumete and Tobane playing so well. He could have passed Gumete Tobane when he couldn't score, but he went for a toe poke. Luckily, the ball deflected again. But now, Rabbatanov, the cushioning of the ball. Beat Fraser, hands down. Could not reach for that one. It's a 1-1 game.
It was a really supremely well-guided header to the back post of Blake Fraser. As Fraser makes a mistake, smashes it into Shitov to the amazement of the Soweto crowd. It was from this cross that they were able to get the equalizer. It was a cross where the Russians looked dangerous there, but they cleared the lines to the Sea Robbers. Pass from Chobeni, floated it into the region of Katlotseteti, teasing the Russian defender. Tsoteti teases him with his footwork, silky footwork at that. Breezes past one, breezes past two, can't beat the tall Tortirostov. His leg is like a periscope. Yeah, where you going? He says. Kazadebab. Back to Ukromem. Skipper. Well read there by Lance Makambi. We haven't been able to see Lance Makambi show his blistering pace and his ability to cross a football while at full tilt.
My only challenge with Toteti, he keeps the ball for too long. His teammates make it into the box, they push forward. He gets marked because he doesn't release the ball early. Now they have to come back and mark a counter-attack from Spartak Moscow. that needs to be taken into consideration. That's why there's a number of counter-attacks that Spartak Moscow gets, or breaks that they get from winning such balls.
Yeah, I think there's something Simon Maringa would probably iron out of his game, and coaches to follow after that. Coach Loftman at MDC level, I'm sure, will be keeping an eye out and would have gotten word of his ability. There he is. That's what he does best. Runs the players. There's a shot, just couldn't find the lurking Gumete. Again, all started from Soteti's drive and need and want to take on players and beat them. Sometimes, as my co-colleague mentioned, holds on to the ball a tad too long in space, and players get closed down.
He also gets to be 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 because the wingers have dropped down.
Five minutes and counting, or just under 5 minutes to the dreaded penalty shootout. Last year, went down to penalties. Adonan Haag losing out to Club Brugge. Will it be the same this year? Or one of these teams, will they get the job done in normal time? Oh, it's a big old battle. That's right in front of that a collection of Pirates fans are not happy, letting the Russian player know exactly what they think of that. And the goal scorer Rabadanov laying on the ground. I don't see too much wrong with that. Mind you, it's not me falling down on that hard astroturf. We'll be being told that Hakeem Marks is to replace Spamangam Cesar. Perhaps it's just running low in terms of energy. The tank not as full as it was when the game started. Or it could be Simon Maringa already plotting for penalties. And, looking towards Hakeem Marks to be one of his key penalty takers.
Well, it's one of the things you must look into. I'm sure the keepers are already sizing the players, how they pass the ball, how they distribute the ball, so that they can perhaps be able to judge which direction they're going to take when it comes to penalties.
That actually hit Radiopana's back. Balloon back up. The strong header from Mofokeng. Tsoteti keeps possession, and so does Trele. Chobeni harried by the previously injured Rabadanov. As we edge closer to the conclusion of this year's tournament, I'd like to ask you, I've waited exactly about 3 minutes or so before the end of the tournament. Some of your highlights. One standout moment for you, a couple of them. I'm sure there are plenty. Probably Grant Bissett's hairstyle one.
Let me tell you, the number of goals scored in this tournament, for me, they stand out. The age group that is playing in this tournament, that stands out on its own. The level of professionalism displayed by these youngsters has to stand out. Overall, I'm a happy guest.
I have two standout moments for me. One that happened earlier this moment with a young elderly woman who brought a couple of grandchildren to the ground. I'll tell you more to that as Tsoteti looks to grind Russian outfit Moscow to the ground. Turn from Radiopana, good block on the picker. Russian centre forward, the centre back as Azola Chabani couldn't add the seconds there. Tsoteti, when he wants you, can't stop him. As that sub is about to happen for Paris. Pamangam Cesana to be replaced by Hakeem Marks. Thumbs up from Uitumelo Radiopane.
Good cover by Vladisnov. He's done all the work. Subtracted from him. Cuts it back. Oh my. What's with the rush, Ralinkwane? What's with the rush? It's the second time around. No, Tobane could not connect very well.
It's confirmation of that sub. The last minute or so of the game. Hakeem Marks is to look to be the difference maker. Yellow card in the meantime. There's Bikanya Sokotlong. Man from Rustenburg becomes only the second player in the final to get booked after goalkeeper Pavel Borishkin.
Now, we spoke of set pieces in dangerous areas. It's the last minute of the game. Spartak Moscow very competitive with high balls.
I've been saying set pieces might just be crucial for the Russians. Not if you deliver that after all that high ball. Shakes all around of the head in the commentary box. We still remain at 1-1.
Commentators curse.
Yeah, I think you put the markers on them. Lishka North. Chovini works well. But Levchenkov doesn't want to quit. Oh, lovely footwork there. Becky Keller takes a tumble and stops the Russian attack from being any serious. Boreshkin off his line. Wow, off his line. Now Ken Kumete. Oh, the crowd were willing and urging him on to have a go from that far out. I think he rushed it. He's never in control of that shot as Radiopane salvages or looks to salvage the situation. It was too obvious what he wanted to do there. Is that a disappointing tournament, Butumila Radupane? Plenty of endeavor, plenty of work ethic, but just coming a bit short in terms of consistent quality when the team have needed him most. But he remains to become a starter for Simon Maring. He started the competition and will finish the competition as Pirates is number 9 by the looks of it. No space for the Russians. Via Krigirov, he's fresh up against Lance Makambi. Oh, Hakeem Marks, he's also fresh, showing that he's not gonna let the Russians have their way. Pick up the baton from where Samandam Cezana left it. Man, he replaced. He called his keeper, side netting. Nothing but a goal kick. I think we're starting to wrap our heads around the lottery of penalties, Mo.
Not in the best spirit that, as far as Blake is concerned, compared to what he was yesterday. What does me now that they're going for penalties? Really have the drive, really have the adrenaline that we saw yesterday.
Well, we're about to find out, because both teams couldn't find a difference in between the allotted 60 minutes. It was Oрландо Пайретс through Tavani Kumete who bundled it over for the opening goal of the game, but the Russians hit back at the start of the second half, 5 minutes into the second half at that. Rabbadanov on the end of a deliciously weighted cross. It was 1-1, and it is 1-1. It shall remain at full time as we look forward and cast our eyes to the dreaded penalty shootout, the second penalty shootout for Oрландо Пайретс, 2 games running. The tail of the tape, as I mentioned, was the home team, the home favorites, who started it, winning the ball deep in midfield. Tobeni and Kumete combination, Mo.
Interception by Tobeni. A good finish by Kumete, pushing all the way in and knowing that he needs to support his teammate Tobeni. Poorly cleared ball, brought back into the game, and Kumete profited from that.
Radiopane with the assist there. Yeah, what a cross from the right-hand side onto the head of Rabbadanov, who expected that quality and was the most alert as he jumped in between 2 players to just glide the ball past a beaten Blake Frazen to equalize it.
The flight of that ball.
And the balance of play, Spartak Moscow had more of the ball and were more creative in their attacking third, hence They're outnumbering the shots on target against Oрландо Пайретс. But both teams were able to get at least a goal, as the midfield was arguably the most hotly contested between Kumete, Klele, Rabadonov, Melnikov and co. But that is done. It's down now to the penalty takers. Mo. Can Pirates get their list right today?
Up against a very aggressive team, powerful when they take those balls. They're not going to pick a spot that easily. They're most likely going to have power behind the ball, directed goal. Frenzen would have to be very alert, doesn't have to move when they haven't made contact with the ball. The list has to be swapped this time around. We don't need that drama.
Here's a question for you. How do you tell which side the penalty taker is going to take, being a former keeper yourself?
Look, the number of steps you take back. Let's listen to this.
Let's go, boys. No relax, huh? May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with us. More. Hey, come, boys.
Wow, that's a new one. Never heard that one.
More.
Great work there by audio, guys.
Strong, huh?
Yeah, you were saying in terms of reading the direction of the penalty.
Now, you've got to count the number of steps taken by the player who's going to take a penalty back. You've got to look at the footstep that is going to start to move with. Obviously, he's going to start with the one that he's going to take with. But there's always dummy penalty takers. So as a keeper, you just need to wait until they make contact with the ball and then choose your direction or follow where the ball is going. Most keepers most likely going to dive before they make contact with the ball.
We've seen some interesting techniques developing over the years, a la Eden Hazard, a la Jorginho of Chelsea with a little skip. Pogba with the longest run-up you'll ever take can make two sandwiches in between the run-up and still get there before he strikes the ball. All sort of ways to try and settle the goalkeepers, as you mentioned, that have their own little ways of reading where the penalty taker will be going. Or you could do it like the golden old days. A la Jerus Kosana, just smash it. If the keeper gets a touch while his hand is burnt or it's gonna hurt. Boom. We call it here in South Africa.
Remember, they used to play with kickoff then, so
it was hard balls even, yeah.
The list has been handed out. We can already know who's going to take.
We would hope that the list has been adequately perused through.
Azola Tuban is going to open the penalty.
Interestingly, what will the change of sides do for Oрландо Пайретс? It was the other side of the pitch yesterday, which was the most luckiest for them.
Tossing off a con.
Yeah. First up is the Russians, Mo. Levchikov to take the first penalty in the 2019 Future Champions final. Down to penalties. Blake Fraser deep in thought. Less or more calm than he was yesterday, but still intense edge on all over his face. Intensity, that is.
I'm not convinced by his energy today.
Yeah, it's a bit off there. I could even feed it from here. And perhaps he wasn't as confident as yesterday. Which is strange because he did well in intimidating some of the Club Brugge players. Ref just checking if it's a right penalty taker there.
He has to. We don't need to stop and go this time around. It affects the players mentally.
Let's see if Fraser will try anything to Frezzo. Levchenkov, easy. What a cool, composed first penalty kick in a high-pressure situation. That's how you want your player to take your penalty.
Gone the opposite direction. Went before the ball was even taken. That's what I said earlier on. Sometimes keepers would just dive before the penalty taker makes contact with the ball.
One step bang. It's the captain of Oрландо Пайретс to take their first and get them going in the 2019 Future Champions Gauteng. penalty shootout. Trophies at stake. It's the man from Windmill. Easy run up and an easy finish as well. Unerring from Azola Chobeni. Anything you can do, I can do as well. Under 17 international says.
The power on the ball. The direction. Opposite way again. Keeper had no chance. That is Poriskin up against this young man, Azola Tobane. Led by example. Now the team needs to follow suit.
Leading from the front, the skipper. Man, next up is Stepan Melnikov. Intensity edged all over his face. Frazen looks to make himself big. Melnikov strides up. Frazen stops it. Oh, he points to the heavens and he says, divine intervention. I think not. It's Blake Frazen. The fans go wild on the far side. Clearly, Blake Frazen groupies. Why not?
Strong hands.
Wasn't the best of penalties, let's be honest.
We saw it coming.
Yeah.
The happiest man right now, Augusto Parashos. He's the happiest man.
Borishkin up against Lance Makambi. We've seen one number 11 miss. Will this be lucky number 11 for Pirates? Sweetly struck. No chance for Borishkin. Pirates with the advantage, Mo.
It's a high and low. He's been beaten twice already. Follow up. Nothing.
No chance.
There is no chance you are going to reach for that one. Now you must give credit to the power that is put behind the ball.
Now it's Lucas Hedabab. The pressure must be mounting on his young shoulders after his teammate Melnikov missed the last penalty for Spartak Moscow. Frazen playing mind games. It's worked for him. Oh, listen here. Says you next. Frazen against Gazdabab. Frazen, oh, went the right side. But too much power. Too precise from the midfielder Gazdabab. And claps on. His goalkeeper Parishkin says, come on, we're still in it.
Oh, the power on it. Yes, he went the right direction. He always changes direction after the second penalty. Good step, but sometimes just force a punch.
Now, how many times have we seen star players in a tournament miss crucial penalties in big tournaments? Roberto Baggio, remember him? One step, bang. Pirates 3-3. Lovely celebration at that. Pressure on Spartak Moscow.
Pressure's mounting. He gave it height. Keeper went the right direction, but the height could not reach for it. And the pressure behind the ball, decisive. Good penalties thus far, should we say?
Here we go. Look at that. Don't know how good the Russian's English is. As it says, you miss. You know what you miss is in Russian, Mo? You world travel guy?
Oh no. I don't know this one.
That's Rabadanov. Already has a goal in this encounter. That should add more drama and more butterflies to his stomach with the ref saying the ball is not on the penalty spot. Frazen taking the liberty to just tell him exactly what's going to happen. Rabbadanov with a straight approach, passer. Blake Frazen, who went the same side, guessed right, but again, like the penalty from Melnikov, or rather from Kazderabab, it was low to his right and struck with too much power.
Yep. Tried to sell it, dummy, but Blank was just standing there, did not make a move. You know, the pressure's on you, young man. You came on. Can you beat this man?
What does his body language say? It's always in the eyes. Nothing but intent for the ball. Hakeem Marks came on off the bench for exactly this. It's Hakim Marks. Oh, side foot power. Pirates one penalty away from winning the 2019 future champions Gauteng trophy. Simon Maringa's first. Pirates is first. Spartak Moscow need to score this one to keep the pressure on the next Pirates penalty take up.
The power on it. But no, I have a feeling we're gonna go for silent death.
You hear that say Blake, 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 Blake. He's taking it in, or he's having a whale of a time as Blake Fraser. Must, I'm sure, have this game recorded. Feel like play it over and over, I tell you.
You feel like you're in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
You're calling your
WWE,
name.
yeah. WrestleMania 21. But in fact, it's 2019 future champions Gauteng. Some of the Russians players can't bear to look as one South African fan says, go back to Russia. Grigirov, saved, oh no! I thought Blake Griffin, or Blake Fraser rather, had got it, both hands to it. But too much power on it. The Russians are still in the penalty shootout. Oh, that was close.
Try and close your hands, Blake. Punch it away. You don't have to save it. Just punch the ball away. You could have been a hero. But you still are. You're still in the game. Still in the lead. Can this man... But my bet is that we're going for
Becky Kele with the last penalty.
It's not Becky Kele. It's
In
Kumete.
fact, I beg your pardon, Tawani Kumete. I'm getting carried away in here. Kumete, the goal scorer, it was his goal that got them to this very point. Will it be his penalty that wins them the 2019? Oh no, it's not. He misses. Future champions Gauteng trophy still up for grabs. Kumete, as Mo says, I called it. Oh, football will kill you dead. There's one coach once famously said,
sometimes you bring them back in the game, you give them the lead. Come to penalties. This man, Boriskin, oh my, oh my, oh my, stood for the last penalty. Ah, man, oh man, oh man. There's nothing you can do. Stay strong, young man.
Tears, inconsolable. There's a Tawani Kumete.
Now, game on.
Game on. Over to you, Fraser.
Against
Over to you.
Boriskin. I did say, you're going for silent death.
It's a Doctoria Stoff, in fact, Mo. A big defender. Hands on hips. Short run up. What does the defender have? Oh, same side.
See?
Same side. 3 of the Russians' last penalties have all went to the same side. And Fraser has went that side. But somehow the ball has beaten him, went under his knee.
But now you go to that direction. How are you going to save the ball when you want to use your legs?
Yeah, that's
you want
true.
to
Wasn't
use
great
your
technique.
hands.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's out of the game now.
Yeah,
switched off.
I think you're right to that one. Had he gone with a full stretch, would have been an easy save.
No, Orlando Pirates can't seem to send a player to go take this one. No. Look who's going.
Becky Kele.
You know the song that by DJ Somebody? There's a part where it says, Becky Kele, go Pascal Twara. Oh my, oh my, oh
He's
my,
probably
oh
saying that to
my.
Boriskin. Boriskin Kopaskan Swara.
Ah, when a song comes to life in football, he's a worried man.
Yeah, he looks really worried.
Boris Guinness says, come on, it's my turn to
In
run.
Russian.
Yeah?
It's all happening here in Nike Center. Will it be the man who shares a name with the police minister, Becky Kele, who administers the law? Or will it be Pavel Bereshkin, who says the Kremlin says no? It's Kele. Easy, peasy, straight down the middle. Augusto Palacios like that.
What was with that one? Becky Kele, Kupas Kanswara. Nah, I'm sorry. Oh,
Made that look so easy.
the keeper was still shuffling side to side, and this man profited from it.
So it's the captain for Spartak Moscow carries the ball in one hand and carries the hopes of his teammates in the other. It's Kromin. Oh, fans getting well and truly involved Shouting keeper, as I'm sure you can pick up. Which side will Kromen go? The last three have went right, bottom right. He's most likely going to go bottom left. No, he holds the same side again. 4 penalties. All same side. I cannot believe it. Blake Fraser thinking, what do I need to do to get a hand on this ball? Anything will do.
See, when you're a keeper, you count to 5 penalties that will be done. I need to save 1 or 2 to keep my team in the game. Now he's run out of options. He goes whichever direction the ball goes. He leaves late. He leaves the line late. Now, Boriskin showing some character there. Now he's got the composure to even throw the ball at the opponent and say, come on, my man.
Confidence, confidence. Kabalemu Fokeng.
No.
Against Borishkin.
This is a save.
You calling him?
This is a save.
You calling it for Borishkin to save it? Or is it Mufokeng to put it away? Mufokeng says, no, signore.
What is Borishkin doing? Hippie hopping. I don't know where you get this mambo happy feet. He's becoming a penguin in the goalpost. What's going on, Borishkin?
Hippie hopping, that's got to be a new one for you.
Hippity hopping like a mambo happy feet. You know, penguins. Now, when are you going to concentrate on the ball? This man gives a blow-by-blow punch. 1, 2, 3, jabbed him.
To take it up next is the striker Vlad Shitov, who I'm amazed is not one of the first names on a penalty kickers list, such as his finishing ability. Oh, does he crack under pressure? That's why Vlad Shitov cracks under pressure. And somehow, wait a minute, what just happened? Blake Fraser saved the ball, and somehow the ball rolled back into the net while he was celebrating. I've only seen this.
It's a goal.
I've only seen this on a YouTube clip, Smoke. It's just happened in real life. Have a look at this. Ball balloons up in the sky. Blake Fraser celebrates, points, fingers in the air. Ball bounces, says you celebrate too early.
Blake Fraser.
Absolutely wow.
Oh my. Drama. Nike Center.
When the luck is with you, the luck is with you.
You know when they say touch the sky, you know that song that goes touch the sky? That's what Blake Fraser did.
Wow.
Come on, little man.
Wow.
It's a goal.
Borishkin still in disbelief, asking, am I taking it next? The crowd here in Soweto in utter disbelief. Everybody on tenterhooks. Us in commentary are still picking our jaws off the floor there. Grant Bissett's gone a few more shades of red.
He's filming behind
You're looking
us.
a bit more ginger than usual. And
It's
I'm looking more
hot in this
chubbier
commentary booth.
It's hot in here. Wow. I kid you not, I've only ever seen that on YouTube clips. As my colleague says, that's definitely making it onto the socials.
Yep.
It's Boikanyo Sekhotong.
Drama.
What will that have done to his psyche? The Sekhotong, easy. Keeper read it, but well put away to the dismay of the Russians. We still continue. 7 penalties apiece. And we're still yet to get a conclusive winner.
The journey continues. Now, there's less pressure on the penalty taken of late now. The 7th ones. Keepers could have saved them. They went to the right direction. But there's just not that strong arm, that character to say, I'm going for this ball all the way out.
It's the right back, Samirmov. Now we definitely to the players who did not want to take penalties. Samayov already seen his teammates penalty saved and then ricocheted back into the net. It's Samov. Oh, poor penalty. Poor penalty. Blake Fraser makes sure this time around. And with a similar celebration than the one he had when he saved it, or he thought he had saved the penalty. This time it worked out for him. That was poor from Samov though.
Oh. Poor. A clear penalty. Blake knew where to go.
Yeah, Fraser says, have some of this, Samov.
Now he saw some more of Samov on the left-hand side. Oh,
now,
the hero.
Buitumelo Radio Pani. He's had a iffy tournament at best. He came in with a big name on his back due to what he did in qualification, bagged a number of goals. It will not come much bigger than this.
The facial expression doesn't convince me.
I didn't even get to see his face. Radio Pan is circumspect in his approach. The under 17 international wins it for Oрландо Пайретс in the most of dramatic fashions. Simon Maringe, inconsolable break phrasing, feeling like a football god. Oh, I've never seen drama at this level. Madness at pitchside as the fans here in Soweto flood the pitch. Simon Maringe in tears. It means something to the Zimbabwean, his second year in charge of this under-17 team. And somehow they survive penalties, not once, but twice, Mo.
Oh my! Ah, it's victory.
The winning penalty that will go down in history. We Tumelo Radio Pane with a penalty that sees Oрландо Пайретс being crowned the first South African side ever to get their hands on the future champions Gauteng trophy for Ruskin Kirongi. But look on, they tell you at pitchside away from the highlights, it's absolutely chaos at pitchside.
They deserved it. They fought. They wanted it so bad. Went to penalties. Took decisive penalties. It was unfortunate with that ball with Blake Frenzen. But this man stands out for me. Character, courage, not giving up, making sure that he gets his teammates back into the game.
Some of the security personnel just looking to help clear the crowd as Simon Maringe is hoisted up in the air by his Pirates players, still in tears, still highly emotional as a Zimbabwean. Blake Fraser's mom says, "That's my son." Very proud mom. Fortunately, the dad couldn't be here today, from the looks of it. Simon Maringe, I'm sure, will be getting a call from his relatives to congratulate him. Perhaps a young call from Alvin Khoza, the Iron Duke himself. Disbelief. That's the beauty of football. Such an emotive sport, Mo. Make you angry, make you cry, make you smile and make you frown, all in the space of seconds. Blake Fraser with his family. I'm sure he's gonna get to sleep past his a curfew tonight. And from Randburg, in my neighborhood, maybe I'll bump into him on that side. It's still absolute chaotic scene.